For most of history, computers have basically been just really fancy calculators. They do exactly what we tell them to, and that's it. But that's all changing, like right now. They're starting to learn, to reason, and yeah, even to create things in ways that we used to think were, uniquely human. We are right at the beginning of a huge shift, and it's called generative AI. So let's break down what that really means.
I mean, just think about that for a second. This is basically saying intelligence is becoming utility, kind of like electricity or the internet. Just this giant brain in the cloud that anybody, anywhere can tap into. This isn't just another tech upgrade, okay? This is a fundamental shift in how we work with machines, and it's going to touch pretty much everything. Okay, to really wrap our heads around this, let's use a simple but really powerful mental model. Just imagine you have a genius living in your basement. And not just any genius. I'm talking about a mashup of every brilliant person who's ever lived. And you can go down and talk to them anytime about absolutely anything. Sounds a little like sci-fi, I know, but that's pretty much the new reality we're all figuring out.
So we've got this genius in the basement, but how does it actually work? Like, how does it think? Let's pull back the curtain a little bit. Don't worry, we won't get too technical, and just understand what's really going on behind the magic. First up, let's get the terms right. You've been using AI for years, right? In your YouTube recommendations, your Google search results, that's what we'd call traditional AI. It's fantastic at finding and organizing stuff that's already out there. Generative AI, though, it's a whole different animal. The name gives it away. It doesn't just find things, it generates brand new, original stuff. It actually creates. So the engine that powers tools like ChatGPT is something called a large language model, or LLM. And at its core, the idea is almost shockingly simple. It is a phenomenally powerful guess the next word machine. Seriously. By looking at trillions of words from all over the internet, it's gotten so good at predicting what the next word should be that it can string them together into sentences, paragraphs, even entire articles that make perfect sense. So how does it get so good at guessing? Well, it's basically this four-step training process you see here. First, it just swallows a mind-blowing amount of text, basically a giant slice of the internet. Then it just plays guess the next word over and over, billions of times. Every time it gets it wrong, it tweaks its own internal wiring just a little bit. And finally, and this part's really important, humans come in and give it feedback, teaching it what's helpful and what's not. It's kind of like training a really, really smart dog, You're teaching it context and setting boundaries. But look, this whole thing has gone way beyond just guessing the next word. That one core idea has exploded into a whole new toolbox of creative and intellectual skills that are just wow. And it all starts with a simple prompt from you. I mean, we started with text and code, but now different AI models can whip up these incredibly realistic images, they can compose original music, even create short video clips. And the trend now is toward multimodal tools. It's a fancy word, but all it means is you'll have one tool that can understand and create all of this stuff. Text, images, audio, all in one spot.
And this is where our metaphor really comes to life, Your genius isn't chained to a desk in the basement. You can take it on a walk with you. I do this all the time. I'll just talk out my ideas for a new project, let it listen, and then ask it for feedback. It's become this incredible partner for brainstorming and just thinking things through. And it's with me anywhere, anytime.
Okay, look, the technology on its own is amazing, we get it. But the real revolution, the actual magic, is what happens when we combine its raw power with our own human intelligence, our expertise. And honestly, this is the most important part of this whole explainer. For about 300,000 years, our species, Homo sapiens, we've been the smartest thing on the planet. Our basic brain hardware, our core intellectual horsepower, it really hasn't changed a whole lot in all that time. And this chart explains why right now is so wild. On the left, that flat line, that's us, our human capabilities. Pretty stable. But that line on the right, shooting straight up like a rocket, that's AI. And we are living right there, at the crossing point. For some things, AI is already way better. For others, we've still got the edge. The key isn't to try and compete with it. It's to learn how to partner with it. So when we're faced with this crossing point, people usually fall into one of two camps. There's the threat mindset, which leads to denial. Oh, AI can't do my job. Or just flat out panic. Neither of those is very helpful. But then there's the opportunity mindset. This is where you reframe it. AI isn't here to replace you. It's here to make you ridiculously productive. It's a tool that gives you superpowers, letting you focus on the big ideas, not all the tedious grunt work. And this brings us right back to the most critical idea.
AI by itself is just a really, really powerful tool. And a human by themselves has, natural limits. But when you combine your creativity, your knowledge, and your judgment with the AI's insane speed and processing power, that's where the magic happens.
So, how do we tap into this magic? Well, it all comes down to communication. The skill of talking to your genius in the basement is called prompt engineering. And I'm telling you, it's becoming as crucial as knowing how to read and write.
If you go down to your genius and just give it a lazy prompt like plan a workshop, you're going to get a vague, generic, and pretty much useless answer back. It's kind of like telling a five-star chef to just make food. Without any context, the AI has no idea what to do for you.
But now, just look at the difference when you add some context. By adding the details, how long, who it's for, what the goal is, you've given the AI guardrails to work with, and the result you get back is going to be infinitely more helpful and relevant. But here it is. Here's the real pro move. The single most effective way to use these tools isn't just to give them instructions. It's to turn it into a conversation. Give it some initial context, and then flip the script and ask me any questions you need to know in order to help me best. You're basically letting the AI interview you. That's when it becomes a true creative partner.
All right, we've covered a ton of ground here, from how this genius actually thinks to how you can team up with it. So let's just wrap up by focusing on the most important things you need to remember as you start using this stuff.
So here's what it all boils down to. Number 1, Gen A is a powerful tool, not a threat. You just have to understand it. Number 2, your own imagination is going to be the biggest limitation here. Number 3, prompt engineering is the new essential skill you have to learn. And number 4, how do you learn it? Simple. Just start using it. Practice, experiment every day. And the learning just kind of happens on its own.
And just to give you a quick peek at what's coming down the road, we're moving towards something called autonomous agents. So imagine giving your genius a really high-level mission, like plan my team's entire offsite retreat, giving it the tools it needs, and then just letting it go off and figure it out on its own. That's the next frontier, and it is coming a lot faster than you probably think. So everyone now has access to this absolutely incredible intelligence, this genius in the basement. It's just sitting there waiting for your direction, your creativity, your expertise. The only question left to ask is, what are you going to create together?